So this is the last video that we're going to be sending you, and over the course of this past week we've sent you a lot of valuable information on nutrition. So if you need to, please make sure to go back and review these videos as often as you need to. But there are a couple of things we want to talk about today. The first thing we want to talk about is the importance of caloric conversions. Now, the average person would have to walk or run 1 mile in order to burn 100 calories. So let's put that into perspective. Let's say your one vice is chocolate cake. Well, an average piece of chocolate cake is going to contain about 300 calories. So if you understand the importance of caloric conversions, you'd have to run basically a 5K, about 3 miles, just to burn off the calories in one chocolate cake. And once you start understanding some of those concepts, it'll really make you think twice about eating certain foods. The next thing we want to talk about is weekend trouble. A lot of our clients will do really well Monday through Thursday. They'll be able to maintain a caloric deficit of 500 calories a day and sustain that over 4 days. That's a 2,000 calorie deficit. But what we see happen is on the weekend, they'll get into trouble. And usually that starts on a Friday night. Friday night they'll reward themselves because they've had a busy work week, they've done really well. And in just one meal, you can negate all the progress that you've made during that week. And that's just one meal. Then Saturday comes along, and a lot of times people are getting together with their friends or family members and they're going out to eat. And then Sunday, people are typically not as active, they're fairly sedentary. But you can set yourself back a couple of weeks just by not staying on track over the weekend. And so that's why it's so important. Even if you have an off-plan meal, please go out and enjoy yourselves, but make sure that you get right back on track and really look at approximately how many calories you're taking in each meal. We see people get into trouble a lot when they're eating out. Now, I want you to think about this really simplistically. When you're eating out, ideally we would like you to order water. If you're going to have an alcoholic beverage or a beverage for that matter, make sure that you're balancing that with a complete protein or with a protein source. And then if you're eating out, if you have lunch meetings or dinner meetings or just eating out with the family, think about ordering a good protein source first and then a complex carbohydrate. Whenever you eat out, it can be as simple as ordering like a grilled chicken breast and a sweet potato, or ordering some veggies. And that would be an example of a well-balanced meal. It doesn't need to be any more complicated than that. A couple of tips for success, and if there's anything you remember from this nutrition series, these are the things that I really want you to focus on. The first thing you need to think about is make sure that you're eating breakfast. Never skip a meal, but it starts with breakfast. If you don't eat breakfast, you'll never be able to get your metabolism or your metabolic rate sped up throughout the day. So it's really important to make sure that you're eating breakfast and then never skip a meal after that. Make sure you're at least consuming 5 to 6 small meals throughout the day. You want to make sure that you're not consuming anywhere over 300 to 500 calories per meal. Remember, the human body can only metabolize between 300 and 500 calories per meal, so anything in excess is just going to immediately be stored as fat. You want to make sure that you're balancing your macronutrients, so make sure that you're eating the right percentage of protein, fat, and carbohydrates. And the last thing is to make sure that you're drinking plenty of water, because if you're shoving food down the garbage disposal and you forget to turn it on, all that food's going to do is mesh up. And so that's why it's really important to make sure that you're drinking water at each meal. I really hope that you found these videos to be helpful. If you do have any questions, feel free to reach out to us in the gym. Thank you very much.